All right, let's talk about the NBL, the Australian National Basketball League. So before we get into the max and minimum salaries in the National Basketball League in Australia, let's go over some quick facts and figures about the NBL. So for the 2020-2021 season, there's 9 teams, with one of those teams being outside Australia in New Zealand. For the 2021-22 season, there's going to be 10 teams, one of those teams being in New Zealand, the other one's going to be in Tasmania. In 2020, the NBL reduced the number of import players from 3 to 2. In the NBL, there's a salary cap set at $1.3 million US. Now that includes most of the players' budgets. But there are players such as the marquee players or import players that have most of their budget outside of that salary cap. This is so that they can keep getting higher level talent in their league. The max contract length is 3 years. Okay, let's jump over to the average salaries. Local Aussies make on average $106,000 US per season. And the import players make anywhere between $120,000 and $250,000 US per season. All right, let's get into the max salaries. We got Bryce. This guy is a killer, one of the best players in the NBL history. In 3.5 years in the NBL, he's won 3 championships, 2 NBL MVPs, averaged 20.6 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 1.3 steals over that entire 3.5 years. He's a true NBA pedigree with Utah Jazz, Phoenix Suns, and Memphis Grizzlies. Rumors and estimates put his salary per season at $440,000 US per year. Another max salary would have to be Andrew Bogut. This guy, Australian 7-foot center, first pick in the 2005 draft by the Milwaukee Bucks. He also played for other NBA teams like Golden State Warriors, Dallas Mavericks, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Andrew Bogut signed a 2-year contract with the Sydney Kings, and it was for around $1 million Australian dollars. That equates to about $363,000 US per season. Now this doesn't include the other incentives. I would imagine his salary would be probably much more than that. Okay, and next, let's talk about LaMelo Ball. Obviously, most Americans know this name for the Ball brothers. This particular player is the youngest American to ever sign a professional contract overseas. And he did so with Pranay of the Lithuanian Basketball League, the LKL, on December 11, 2017. He then returned back to the US after that season, played for his dad's JBA league, and finished his high school degree. On June 17, 2019, LaMelo Ball signed a contract with the Illawarra Hawks in the NBL. He signed that contract through the Next Stars program, and we'll get more into that in a second. On November 25th, LaMelo balled out, scored a season-high 32 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists, in an overtime win against the Cairns Taipans to become the youngest NBL player to ever record a triple-double. This guy's setting records in Australia. And end of story, 3rd overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft by the Charlotte Hornets. Over the past several years, the NBL has been competing with the NBA on getting elite young talent straight out of high school. What's known about the NBL is that it's an up-and-coming league. With a new president and new management, this league is growing, and it's growing significantly. And it's grown so much that it's starting to get the attention of the NBA and the NBA G League, to where they have to start implementing programs to keep their young players like LaMelo Ball in the US, developing under their programs. If you're 18, 19 years old and you're trying to find a place outside the NCAA, you don't want to do school, you're over homework, then Australia NBL is a great place to get started. The Next Stars initiative, the same thing that LaMelo Ball did, started in the 2018-2019 season. Designed to provide young elite overseas players, mainly Americans who are currently barred from the NBA draft until 1 year out of secondary school, as well as Australians and New Zealanders considering US college basketball. Salaries, like we talked about, in the 100,000, 200,000 range. It's very relative to American lifestyle, so the transition for a player from the US to Australia back to the US is very easy and very seamless. Salaries are good, expenses are paid for, beaches are nice, food is great. Why not? Sign me up.